Good morning and welcome to the 13th edition of the Austrian Research and Innovation Talk, the ARIT 2016. I have to admit I got a little bit of slight problems in talking to you because the light is quite bright, so I try to keep my eyes a little bit lower. Welcome again. I'm extremely happy that so many of you, especially from the United States, just in time before the elections made it to Canada and to the ARIT today. Usually at this point, I would welcome also our special guests, but I have to admit, in preparing the list got way too long and much longer than the 5 minutes I foresaw for myself in the schedule today. So please accept my apologies that I do a very general, but truly heartfelt welcome to all our special guests and once again to all of you, especially to our Canadian partners today because it's the first time we also have Canadian stakeholders, universities here at the ARIT. Thank you very much for coming. I would also shortly give for all the newcomers of you to the ARIT a short overview. What's the ARIT? The ARIT, it's in its 13th edition, and in these 13 years it developed into the most important meeting of the Austrian science and innovation community here in North America. Together with the Austrian Connect, we're always competing with them, it's the biggest Austrian conference here in North America. And it's also, and that's why you're here, and that's why we're here, that's the main reason, it's sort of a general assembly, it's the annual meeting of the Research and Innovation Network Austria, the RINA. Let me welcome still my colleagues from the ministries, our stakeholders in Austria, and extend my gratitude to them. First, they're deciding on our budget, but second, and that's more important, because of the great support in our daily work, but also here for the ARIT. Without their support, we wouldn't have the ARIT and we wouldn't have the Office of Science and Technology here in North America. I would also like to welcome our partner network, that's ASINA, the Austrian scientists in North America, and I want to welcome Franz Franchetti, the president. Franz, I don't see you, where are you? Here's Franz. Thanks for being with us again. I want to get the same applause afterwards. Yeah, and I wanted to continue and tell you what to expect today from the ARIT, because we changed the format. We're trying a new format today, following your advice, following your feedback, and we set up a completely new format. We're starting off with a thematic focus today, and we are very grateful and very happy to have Anne Kavukyan, the leading expert on big data and privacy, to give the keynote today. And she will also join us then on a panel on big data. And I want to highlight one of the main features of this panel, because all the panelists, they're leading experts in their field, they're world experts, and they're all in the network, and they're all Austrian researchers here in North America. So we're very proud of that. After this panel, we will have information from top experts from Austria on the latest developments in the STI field in Austria, relevant to your work here in North America, but also maybe in cooperation back home with Austria. As I said, we tried to make the ARIT in a new format because we intended our objectives to make it more dynamic, more interesting, more interactive for you, simply to enable you to make even better connections among each other. That's why in the afternoon, after the lunch, we will have a stakeholder pitching of universities, research institutes, and stakeholders that will kick off then our network fair in the afternoon, where you can get in direct contact with each other. And the evening, our traditional, no, sorry, it's not our traditional, but it's the traditional ASINA award ceremony by the Federal Ministry of Science, Research, and Economy. And I think for the first time ever, at least since I have been heading this office, there is a poster session at the award ceremony tonight. Just 3 very short facts, because time is running fast, of what we did in our work last year to explain to you. First, the RINA, our network, is growing steadily. We are currently at a membership number of more than 2,600 people, making it one of the biggest scientific diaspora networks of EU member states here in North America. And during the last year and for the future, of course, we try to improve the services for you in the network, improve by quality and by quantity, of course, but mainly by quality. Therefore, we're very happy that we have Jürgen Haberleitner right now with us, who's working on a feasibility study on diaspora networks, which should serve as a basis then for getting even better services for you. Last thing I would like to mention, which makes me proud, and I think all of us, because last year saw more and more Austrian scientists receiving awards in Canada and the US states, among them really the most prestigious awards in those two countries that you can get as a scientist. So we're very proud and very happy about that. Having said this, 2 housekeeping rules, very short. Maybe you saw already, it's right here, that's the Wi-Fi, if you want to connect. The other thing, the restrooms or the washrooms are downstairs, left, around the staircase. Last now, usually you don't do it at the beginning, but I think this year I have to, because the preparations of the ARIT this year have been one of the most challenging. I want to express my pride of being part of a team, an excellent team. It's the Austria team. I want to say thank you to Simone, Robin, Johanna, and Bettina and Austin back home in the office for an amazing work to get the best out of the day for you today. It was rather difficult, but thank you for joining me. And a hand for them. And this is the perfect transition also to welcome Ambassador Arno Riedel, our ambassador here in Canada. Arno, please.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure for me, of course, to welcome you to this ARIT. Special welcome to our Canadian friends and partners who join us for this very important event for us. When we discussed this year's ARIT, it was already a year ago. I was very much welcoming the idea to have it in Canada after many years, and also the preparation took quite some time. It's particularly important for me as Austrian ambassador here in Canada to have this gathering, this important exchange of views among you here in Canada. So let me thank the Austria team, Clemens, Mantl, Simon Böttcher, and all the others for this organization. Now, big data, of course, is a topic that sounds very challenging. You are much better in this field than I am, but this is probably what we have to deal with for the years to come. Vielleicht haben wir das Staunen schon verlernt, aber ich denke mir dann immer, wenn wir staunen wollen, brauchen wir nur auf die Wahlen in den USA sehen, dann können wir, also mir geht es zumindest so, immer wieder staunen. Canada is rich of natural resources, you know, oil, gas, minerals, water, not to forget. This is a huge resource of drinking water. Also, most of the time it's it's hard water in sense of frozen. But Canada is also a country of enormous human resources, and computing, information, robotics, and biotechnologies have delivered spectacular progress in this country. Of course, there are also the darker side of the medal. Does this progress produce unemployment? Does it produce greater inequality? How is big data with privacy? This is certainly something that today we shall look into. Now, yesterday, I was impressed how Canadian universities deal with students when they get a sense of entrepreneurship, so bringing entrepreneurship into the universities at a very early stage. I think this is a very important feature that we Austrians can take with us. Let me also say that I'm very glad to have Anne Kovakian with us as a keynote speaker, outstanding expert in this field. One last word about CETA. I'm sure you are following the news about the agreement between the European Union and Canada, which is stuck at the moment. The major problem, I think, is that in our populations in Europe, and I do not exclude the Austrians, became fearful of the future. Now, angst is, I don't know, maybe since Sigmund Freud, a particular Viennese feature, Zukunftsangst. But a partnership, Europe and Canada, is something very natural. I have been working a lot. I have been here now for 4 years in Canada. Canada is a reliable partner. Standards are at least as high as in Europe. And I think we should be more relaxed on things where we see are of mutual benefit to both sides. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you an interesting day and all the best. Thank you.